got one paying next. You're fine, you're fine. راسك في الكاميرا which is fine. عادي عادي.
لا
طب ايه خلاص ما تخافيش اهو خلاص اهو.
على فكره ماما بتتفرج على الكلاسز دي فيا ريت راسك ما تبقاش في الكاميرا. طبعا تشتكي من راسك. اسالها شافت راسك ولا لا.
Okay. Let's review real quick some of the things that we have done so far. Because we're going to get into verbs starting the next lesson, which will be in the year 2020, God willing, since we're not going to have a class next week. So we'll review a few things that we have learned so far, and we're going to cover one simple thing today, and then we'll be done for the year, other than exercises and videos that I'll be sending you, which I confess, obviously I have not done yet, it's my fault. One of the things we learned was prepositions. What are prepositions? Prepositions are things that indicate location, words that indicate location, or indicate a direction that something is taking place in. So for instance, chen is a preposition. It means, do you remember what chen means? In. Kata. You remember kata means? According. Ebol chen. Did we learn that one? From. Upon. I didn't say that. These are all prepositions. And we learned that when we use these, for instance, this more or less forms a complete sentence. Mo'u, hijen, pikahi. I'll tell you what mo'u means. Water. Kahi, remember what kahi means?
Water on the earth.
The earth or the ground. So, this is just water, or we can say fine. Mo'u, hijen, pikahi. The water is on the earth. Upon the earth, for instance. It's a complete sentence, more or less. Okay? So this is how we use prepositions. It's a very... Amen. Lesson number 6. So this is more or less a complete sentence, and this reflects the general use of prepositions in Coptic. And we have dozens upon dozens of prepositions. We've learned about a dozen so far in our vocabulary. And we've used them throughout a number of lessons. Possessive pronouns is something we went over the last couple of weeks. What are those? Yep, what Maria is pointing at. The 3 tables. Mine, your, his, her, our, your, their. And we learned that with possessive pronouns, what does it depend on? There's 2 things that it depends on. That knowing which pronoun to use.
The word itself.
The word itself, the whole gender. Is it masculine, is it feminine, or is it plural? And then it also depends on who is the person who is doing the owning. So if it's my something, it's let's say that something is masculine, like the house. Pa. What if it's my mother? Ta. What if it's my prayers? No. What if it's his prayers? So we know it is going to be an N because it's plural. Nef. Okay? شكلك عايزة محتاجة تذاكر انت شوية. I'm teasing.
احنا بنبص في الورقه على فكره.
Which is fine.
We have the table.
It's perfectly fine. That's all you need to do is know which table you're in and then which line you're on.
فين بقى في الورقه عشان
شكلنا we're having here in a couple of weeks.
عدلتك ديليشن تقولي كده
Mr. Marlene is next to you. Cheat from her today.
Okay.
And cheating is encouraged because as much as memorization is encouraged, the reality is What you simply need to know is where to look, and then it's fun. Okay, that's what exercises are for. Remind me after about local الحاجات that you've missed the last couple of weeks. What you need is just the material and it's there. So we learned possessive pronouns. I think last week we also learned how to say this or these. Pie. So for instance, pie, cosmos. يعني ايه؟
Cosmos is the world that this
World, yeah. This world. Thai, Thai mom.
Taishuri.
Oh, Thai shori. This what? What's mom?
Mother.
Mother, Nai, dorun. Remember what dorun means? It's a Greek word. It means gifts. So, these gifts. And this, notice, just like the possessive pronouns, which one you pick depends on the gender of the noun. Gender or number. Cosmos is masculine, so it's pie. Mav is mother, naturally it's feminine, so it's Thai. Doron, because we're using the plural, it's always going to be N. This was, I think, the last part of lesson 5 last week, was it not?
We took K.
Okay, so another thing.
Other or also.
Yeah, so now you notice how this is all considered one word. Okay? If I wanted to say in Coptic there's something you can add to a word to indicate or to say this world also, or this other world, or this mother also, this other mother, this thing also, or this other thing. And the way you do it simply is by putting K in the middle. Pi K cosmos. And this K does not change. You just put it here, you put it here, and you put it here. You put it in the middle of anything. You can also say, for instance, P angelos, the angel. What would this mean then?
Angel?
So, angelos is angel. So, P angelos, the angel, or the angel. PK angelos, the other angel, or the angel also.
Yeah, Katie, only my pie, tie.
No, or P.
Also or other.
It might be with any, it can come either with demonstrative, or with possessive pronouns, or with definite
So it can
articles.
come anywhere.
Anywhere.
What about some? Isn't that some?
So I'll get to that next. So we can also say, actually they're all here. You can also say, instead of P, the, pi, this, okay? Or let's say hef, or pes, his or her. You can also, if you don't want to define or specify the thing that you're talking about, you just want to say some things, instead use han. We also learned that. Han for plural, u for singular. So for instance, han a. Some homes. Some homes.
ايه ده ثانية واحدة احنا ازاي دخلنا في الموضوع ده؟ ده موضوع جديد ده ولا ايه؟
No, that's lesson 2.
ده من زمان بقى.
طب وليه جبت لسه دلوقتي في
كأنه
lesson
جديد.
بعمل ريزومي، بعمل سمري الحاجات اللي بتعملها.
لازم تقول لنا فين الليسن ونطلع الورق. الذاكرة بالسعفانة.
Second page.
لا ما حصلش كده.
على فكرة.
لا كان ملل.
أو U A يعني إيه؟ A house. Okay. So these are all things that we learned. All right. What else did we learn already? We talked about noun and gender, that every noun in Coptic has a gender. It's either going to be masculine or feminine. And you simply have to memorize them, especially when it comes to things that it's not obvious. So for instance, what is the gender for Trinity? For the Trinity in Coptic and Greek, what's the gender? Is it masculine or feminine? Or it's feminine. It's, how would you know? 3S is the word for Trinity in Coptic. How do you know that it's feminine? You can see a T in front of it. Automatically you're going to know that it's feminine. Okay? But, or, forget this. You went over this too. Irini, peace. Is it feminine or masculine?
Feminine.
See, Irini. Pneuma, spirit or wind.
Masculine.
Masculine. في pneuma. وهكذا. And so forth and so on. So these, and every now you simply have to learn what the gender is. It's not always obvious. So for instance, a house. It's masculine. Okay, F-A or P-A. However, in English, we casually say Mother Earth. Right? Father time, Mother Earth. Okay. In Coptic, Kagi,
What is for the
Peacock.
What is for the time?
it's just a saying.
Like Mother Earth.
Like Mother Earth. So we tend to think of the earth as feminine because it reproduces itself, or it keeps giving. In Coptic, earth is actually masculine. The river, a river in Coptic, Yaru, it is also masculine. Could be F Yaru. Okay? And so forth and so on. So with every verb, and that's why I've been giving you, I give you, I think, 4 lists of vocabulary now. It's to help you sort of start to see patterns of what's masculine and what's feminine. A place, any place. It's a simple word, ma. Ma is masculine or feminine, you think? Is it tima or is it pima?
P شكلها أحلى.
Yeah, sounds better with P.
You know why? سمعتيها كتير. 100%, that's why. You've heard it in church many, many times. Stoinofi. Bukhur.
T is not B os T شكلها. No.
T what do you think? Is it P Stoinofi?
T is not شكلها B أحلى.
لا.
أنا عمري ما سمعتها.
It sounds better with T.
I wish languages
راجع
were
نفسك
better.
راجع نفسك راجع نفسك.
P or T?
مشيها.
How many people think
T.
that incense, Stoinofi,
الاثنين حلوين.
masculine or feminine?
Feminine.
B.
الاثنين ماشيين معها الصراحة. أنا حاسة إني مقاومة.
It's P is Stoinofi, it's masculine.
هي معناها ايه نسيت.
بخور.
B is smoking. T is smoking.
P is Stoinofi. For instance, where do you
T
know?
جت منين؟
The T. The T in it.
It's Stoinofi. But because of this, there's a phenomenon, it's a linguistic phenomenon where if you have a C in front of a TH, almost automatically a TH becomes a T instead of a TH. This happens often. Censor.
T shorty.
So it's feminine because it has symbolic meaning for secondary. So forth and so on. Okay? Today now we learn another way in Coptic that we can form complete sentences also without a true verb. Verbs, I think, are the next lesson. And I'm excited to start verbs, honestly, because it's when you really start to see the language come to life. Especially in our liturgies and any text that you read, you're going to see many, many, many verbs. And the moment we start learning verbs, we'll start being able to basically read complete passages. And this is what we intend to do together. Today we do what's called nominal sentences. Sentences that have nouns in them, without verbs. Okay? And what is distinct about them is something, it's not really a verb, but we treat it as one sort of. And it's this thing right here. pe. Or, this is referring to masculine things. If I want to refer to feminine things,
لو شفنا في تاني
تاني.
كده.
have we seen pe tene before?
Yeah.
We did?
Which is? Yeah.
Yes. But I don't think we've actually covered it in a lesson. Huh?
اللي هي زي
اللي هو your.
Hush, pay, background, what is your name?
yeah. So the only time we've seen pay or te
ايوه
or ne is when we're saying your feminine, exactly. Your to a woman. In those cases, it was attached to something. So, for instance, pay yot, your father. غير piyot. Piyot is the father. Okay? Or temav, your mother. Okay? That's different. Those are possessive pronouns. And they're attached to the word. دولت هنا لوحدهم. They're by themselves. Pete ne. This basically means is, or actually are. Okay? You're going to see a couple different, you're going to see times where in Coptic, a word can mean several different things. Okay? Eventually you will see, for instance, that the word ne means to you if you're addressing a woman. That's why we say shere ne. Hail to you, or peace to you, O virgin. Okay? For the time being, let's just learn this one new meaning for it. That if you see the word by itself, it means are. Something, or some things are something. The first example, we learned what this means. What does pa mean? My. Yot. Father. So my father is, or technically, he is my father. And that's a complete sentence.
My father is.
My father, literally this means my father is he, or is she, or they are.
My father
يعني is ليها gender.
Yes. Yeah, this, even though this is not a verb, when this, I was going to get to that next. This, it indicates also the gender. So it matches the gender.
So it means he is or she is.
Or they
or
are.
They are.
Yeah. It's as simple as that. So,
طب وليه جاية بعد الكلمة مش قادرة؟
in Coptic it's like that. في الألماني مثلا الverb comes, it could be a sentence that has 15 words in it وتلاقي الverb جاية في الآخر خالص. يعني الراجل هنا وهنا وهنا وبيعمل ده وده وده في الآخر you find out what exactly he's
عمل
doing.
ايه بالظبط؟ بعد ما خلص كل حاجة احنا
You find out what he's actually doing.
ده لو كملنا بقى.
طماف.
She is
ايه بقى؟
the mother. My
My mother. Okay.
الجملة لا معلش
هي جملة
ضمافتي.
ضمافتي ريهام.
جملة حلوة.
أنا مامتك.
ضمافتي ريهام.
ايوه ماشي.
If I told you snayu, snayu means brothers.
They
بس
are.
when you come to plural they change it, right?
They
Ah,
are
here,
our.
nay.
They are our.
Te, te.
Our
Even the
brothers.
word for brother
مكتوبة
when
هنا.
you come to plural you change
Stop, stop. If you notice something, snayu means brothers. So this means what?
They are.
They are
Our ولا إيه؟ My.
my brothers.
مال our يعني.
Our يعني nen. Nen snayu. Our brothers will be the third table,
نام هنا.
third line from the bottom. صح؟
what about
يعني brother نيو.
لا nen snayu ne. They are our brothers.
It's نيو brother.
Brothers.
Brothers.
Snayu is one of the words in Coptic that changes form from singular to plural. There's not many of them.
meeting
It's not ten, it'll be nen.
meeting
Oh, your, yeah. Ne, If you want to say your plural, نتن اثنين.
يعني it means that they are our brothers. ده معنى السنتنس.
I'll do more examples right now. The one that Iman wanted to point out is نتن اللي هو not our, your plural. Second line from the bottom of the table.
They are your brothers.
If you wanted to say that. So you can make any combinations of them. Let's do some more. Let's do.
That's how.
احنا بقى
kind of my way of learning.
من جانيوري نعيد من الاول بقى اللي احنا خدناه.
يس عشان نعيد تاني كل الدروس.
ايوه طبعا انت
كله
ده
متسجل.
بقى ده البارت يور فيفورت بارت. احنا نعيد من الاول كل حاجه.
عشان نذاكر معاك.
وما ناخدش اي حاجه جديده تاني طول العمر.
بتذاكري في البيت؟
لا انت بتتكلمي ازاي طبعا. كل يوم كل يوم. كل يوم. الا المذاكره.
So translate it the right way. What is it? What does it actually say?
He is our teacher.
He is our teacher.
واو.
ايه ده؟ ايه السرعه دي الفائقه دي؟
أنا ترجمت الفقرة بنتي.
The way Maria said it is our teacher. Our teacher is. So what this really means is he is our teacher. Now the question is, what gender is this noun?
I think masculine.
Yeah. There's two.
يعني كل البيت امسك.
في اعتقاد
طب why?
انا لا احب الصراحه.
محدش جاوب.
Tell me why. Tell me why. Why is it masculine?
البي.
Exactly. There's two indications.
اثنين مش واحده يا ماما.
في
Okay, I have a question. Could this have been Pensach Te?
No.
No. No, that's exactly right.
لازم
It agrees. It
تي
agrees.
قاعد هادي كده بس
How can it be Pensach Ne?
يبقى ننسى.
Exactly. If I wanted to say they are our teachers, then it would have to be Them Sach Ne. They are our teachers. In other words, this has to always agree with this. If the sentence basically has two parts in it. Now we're going to start doing sentences that have three parts in it. And you'll see that sometimes they agree, sometimes they don't. Okay? Okay. What's important to understand is that nominal sentences there are two parts, or sometimes there are three parts. Actually, more often than not, there are three parts. Okay? I'll give you an example.
أنا عايزة أكسر
دي ايه دي؟
ايه parts ايه two parts or three parts.
Nominal sentences, يا إما يكون فيهم two parts, like أوصاخي, he is a teacher, or three parts, اللي هو في دي, this, and this.
ده إيه ده؟
Nominal sentences in Coptic that don't have verbs in them. This is not really a verb.
He is our حاجة teacher.
Okay, let's go one part at a time. Remember what U means?
Our.
No. right.
يعني somebody. مش صح.
شفت بقى عشان احنا مش فاهمين.
قال يعني
لو انت كنت بتعصب على كنا عارفين على طول.
دخل كلام هنا كده. قلت لك قال يعني.
يعني هي بتيجي تعمل الهام. خلي بالك دي لسه بتجينا.
صح يعني ايه؟ We just said it, teacher.
Teacher.
Okay, so U on the A, Marlene said it. It's a teacher.
A teacher is my
father. So translate it for me. My father is a teacher.
From the right to the left. لا استنى
بتبدا اللي هو اللي قدام الاخر.
كتير تبقى كده. Or you can say a teacher is my father, but in English it makes more sense. to translate it, and it makes more sense when you translate it from the Coptic, that my father is a teacher. وعامة, generally speaking, in Coptic, in these types of sentences, if one of the words is what's called indefinite, اللي هو a or some, and the other one has like a my or the, in other words, it's definite articles or possessive, الindefinite بتيجي الأول, comes first. Okay? So I'll give you another example.
I have a question.
Yeah.
هي ينفع تبقى في؟ يعني ينفع تبقى
Of course.
في صاغ بي
Of course.
As
Of course. You
Is
can
the
do it.
My father
the
is the
teacher.
teacher.
Okay. My father is the teacher.
Or the teacher is my father,
Oh, the teacher.
which has a different meaning to it. And over time,
إيه ده طب does it has يعني the same both? The teacher
so
is my
this is
father,
one
or
thing
my
that's a
father is the
mystery in
teacher?
Coptic, that sometimes you have to try to figure out where the emphasis is. Is it the teacher is my father, or is my father is a teacher? Which one is it?
Is the teacher.
Is the teacher. Where's the emphasis? And sometimes in Coptic it's not clear. Okay? When it comes to usach, pepayot, my father is a teacher, that's much more clear. Because there's an order that's specific in Coptic. But when it's pisach, more than likely, it means my father is the teacher. But it can also mean the teacher is my father. And this is what's called tripartite or three-part nominal sentences. Okay? It's very simple. You have a noun, you can say this, or my, or the, and in the middle is just is in Coptic. Pe, te, ne. Let's go over a few more. Does anybody need to write this? Take a picture of anything? We're good?
Yes.
Good. This is a little bit more.
A priest is.
So this word means
This
priest.
So this man is a priest.
So u means a. Okay. Is. What's this? Pa yani.
This.
Pa is mine.
إيه ده لا
Pa.
This.
This. Do you remember what Romi means?
Man.
Man. Or human being. This human being or this man is a priest. الإنسان ده.
Very respectful.
بس لابونا مش
It wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to be disrespectful. Okay. How about this?
ممكن تسوي
خلي بالك ده كله على الهوا.
لا ما واقف.
Okay, this one's a little bit more complicated. I'll tell you, this word means servants. Servants, plural.
Are women. Are those women. Those women are servants.
Han, what's Han mean? Some. Or it could just be servants. indefinite كده. Notice here that I'm not using pe. We're using ne instead. Why? Because it's plural. Because of this and because of this. What does nai mean?
These.
These. Himi means women. So Maria, translate for me. For us.
These women are servants.
These women are some servants or just servants. These women are servants. So notice again, نبتدي هنا, we'll come back here. Now you notice something about the order, that because this is indefinite, it comes first in the sentence. And then you have the definite on the back.
Can you read that again?
Sure. So, han, ebi aik, ne, nai is himi. Okay?
Is himi women?
Women is himi. Nai is the demonstrative pronoun, means this or these in the plural. Ne is what we use when it's plural. Ebi aik is the form for servants in plural. The singular is bok or boki for feminine. Masculine, feminine. Han means some, indefinite. Not the, just some, or,
Like
random, a number of them. Okay? And so we simply translate, these women are servants, or some servants. That's it. That is it. Very simple, right?
It's a question. How many grammar? الشايفة
Once we do the verbs, we start learning tasbih. We have to learn the verbs, actual verbs first. Iman was asking, when are we going to start learning tasbih and being able to read and understand tasbih? The key is the verbs. So far, Coptic can do a lot of things, like in Arabic. You can express a lot of things without using an actual verb. And there are other Semitic languages that are also similar. But in the end, you still have to learn verbs in order to fully understand the language. This is what we're going to do next week. I know I've been saying it for a while, but we're going nice and slow. Once we go into the verbs, and there's only 4 more lessons after this, then we start learning, memorizing, and we'll start memorizing verbs, and then we'll start reading through it. We have 5 or 10 more minutes. We'll do a few more, then we'll call it a day.
I don't think شغال. She a circle? If it's a circle, alright?
It's supposed
Oh,
to
it
be
is?
unfinished.
Does anybody, did it shut off?
No.
Oh.
She was just waiting for her grandma.
I did. I actually don't remember what Tita is in Coptic. I need to find it out for you. It's probably a word for it. Probably something. Do you remember what Saji means? Word. Okay, who am I going to pick on? Jules.
Those are our words. His words.
What is that? The 5th line on the 3rd table. His. Plural. This is his. They are. These. These are his words. Okay? What else? Let's look at some vocabulary.
الجملة دي مظبوطة يعني مش
مش
مقلوبة ولا
متلخبطة صح.
Yeah? But actually,
عايزين ناكل my fathers are Egyptian.
His words or this?
This means the exact same thing. Nai
يعني it could be this
kefsajine.
way or this way.
With this kind of sentence, the structure is flexible. This means the exact same thing. Nai, these things, nefsajine.
طب في other sentences that we did before, can it be برضه كده؟ ولا-
Not all of them, no. I'll get to some where that's possible, yes. احنا قلنا already that when something starts with an u or han, this always has to come first in the sentence. U or han,
Should be first.
pe or te or ne, and then something else. Okay? This always has to be the form if it's going to start with u or han. Okay? And that's in lesson 6, at the beginning of it. However, when it comes to other sentences that has, so for instance, let's go over some. Okay, the word. No, hold on. The one at the top. This applies to everybody here other than Ned.
It's my something.
Hi means husband.
Okay.
Hi means husband.
This
The
man.
man is.
This man
Is my
is my husband. Or my husband is this man. And you can actually switch these two back and forth.
Okay, I have a question regarding the U that has to be in the beginning of the
Uh-huh.
just U and Han يعني
Yes.
في لا يعني لو
Yes.
it's definite مش
لو في definite to definite, they can go back and forth.
Ah,
Just like up here. But when it comes to u and han, they always have to come out first.
okay, thank you.
Okay?
what الكلمة دي؟
Hi over here means husband.
Okay.
Rome means man or human being.
Romy.
Romi, sorry. Romi. In Saharic or Saidi it's Rome, in Boharic it's Romi. I was mixed up. Pahai pe Romi. This man is my husband, or my husband is this man. So in this case, you don't have to reverse the order to translate it. You can simply read through it if you want to. And there's many examples of that. Take a picture of that.
You are my high.
You guys are funny today. You guys are really funny today. Okay. How about this? Well, can I erase?
Just a minute, just a minute. بس مهمة الجملة دي.
هي بقى مع البريست اللي قبل كده شوفوني بنقابل بعد بكره العصر هي هتحاول ترجم الجمله بتاعت المره ديت وبتاعت البريست اللي قبل كده
ما انا اوريدي علمت العيال.
ونقابلها صندوق هنا ان شاء الله.
اوريدي قلت للعيال لما تشوف ابونا تقول له بي او ويب يا كاهن. يا حتى مش بقول لهم تسي ابونا هايوت يا كاهن. That's how he took it well. Are we good? I'll erase the bottom.
Where is your jacket? Don't forget it. Can you bring it here, please?
Mark it's 11 or 2.
Now?
11 jacket.
Okay, 2 more minutes.
Get your stuff and come.
This is actually the first phrase of a hymn that we sing during Lent. So the only word I'm going to teach you is ento te tishori. The only word I'll teach you is ento. This means you to somebody who's feminine. This is in the lesson. You what? You are the censor. Anti he shori. We're talking down here. The only word I'll teach you is ento, which means you to somebody who's feminine, to a woman. So, ento te shori. You are the shoria, you are the censor. Empty. You to a woman. It's in the lesson.
هو اسمه ايه اللسن ده؟ What's the title?
Of this lesson,
بتاع انسو ده ولا ملوش فاهم؟
this is an example of basically, there's still what are called nominal sentences. Sentences that don't actually have verbs in them. This particular example is on page.
ولا 3 parts؟
This is 3 parts because there's this and there's this.
طب ما احنا بنشوف ان ني يعني
Ah,
so they
why is it T?
تبقى دي so it would be
Because you're addressing a woman and this is feminine, so this has to be T.
what would be they would be verb like or no?
There's no verb. There's no verb in these. This we translate in English as a verb. We say is or we say are. But say Coptic English actually it's not a verb. What matters is this matches hina and it matches hina. And in both cases they're feminine. Maria, Shuri. What's the gender of that noun? It's feminine because of T. And here we know because I told you entho means you addressing a woman. So you know that's feminine. So this has to be te. You are the censor. Addressing St. Mary. We say this during weekdays of Lent. During weekdays of Lent in the liturgy, instead of Taishori or Tishori, you say into Tishori. It's a different name altogether.
what is the masculine والplural بتاعها؟
Okay, sure.
That's a separate lesson. دي ولا في؟
It's sort of part of this lesson, part of other lessons. Now that Manel asked,
Yeah, they sound good.
I wish we could sound like that.
That's our kids?
No,
لا طبعا.
No, the congregation sound.
Have faith in your kids. Enthok means you to somebody who's masculine. Rehem. If I told you that sotir means savior, you are Eva. You are my savior. Okay. What if
ثانية واحدة.
بالرغم ان في ناس غلابه
Yeah.
بين our
في ناس غلابه
You remind me with the cross that I made.
his
his ايوه شغاله معايا اهو.
خلي بالك دي قاعده هاديه بس يعني
Her. You are
my
my
savior
savior. Our savior. His savior. Her savior.
ازاي تقول you are smart؟
You can say that.
ازاي تقولها؟
Actually, intelligent. I need to come up. I actually don't remember. شايف الخيل اهو.
It's not a
Okay, this one is tricky and it's the last thing we do. Ento pe sotir. Nevini. Ento pe sotir. A pe دي بقى هنا.
her
no
His.
his
No, his is pef.
is
No.
you are the
her
No.
you
You are.
ما
إيه ده بقى؟
is
our savior
That would be P sotir.
our
يعني is مش دي is
Hey, hey.
مرتين is
Your, exactly. you're the female.
Oh.
I'm السابع. بص أنا
she
أحس
said
كده.
it the first.
Remember؟
الناس بتذاكر.
بصي في التable في our, his, her, your to somebody who is feminine.
Yeah, أيوة. It's okay.
لا your اللي هو that's it. That's the third line of the table, isn't it? Third line?
Yes.
Yeah.
Third line of the table.
طب
You
وليه
are
تتركي بقى؟ أنت واخد
your savior. Not
حاجة
that
اسمها كده.
there's no sentence. I'm just testing you. That's what I was saying.
عشان كده ما عرفتهاش.
Okay.
اوكي نغير.
I encourage you.
استنى بعد استنى.
تبع الشجر
The plural.
لا لا انسى لا انسى لكن بقى.
انثق وانثو. البلورال بقى انثو.
سليبنج باج ودخلت
بابا بي سمارت يا بابا وانت بتذاكر الحاجة دي.
ماشي يا فندم انت.
Enthou is the plural. You are the priests, Master.
Plural but for both.
Yeah,
Feminine and
there's no gender for the plural. In Coptic, for some reason, it does not usually differentiate in those, when it comes to pronouns and such, it does not differentiate. With personal pronouns, it does not differentiate gender, only in the singular. So, enthou,
لازم نمشي.
yeah.
Yeah, listen.
Okay, I encourage you to read lesson 6 and do the exercises. I will send you easier exercises next couple of days. I encourage you to do a little bit of work over the holidays.
بالترانسليشن please.
بالإجابة بعتها بالإجابة.
Yes. And then we will meet the first week of January.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.